Today on Tanaka Homestead, I want to talk to you about my favorite predator insect called the ladybug and how they can benefit your garden. On my previous video, I talked about predator insects in general and how they can benefit your garden, but today I want to focus on the ladybird or ladybugs. Believe it or not, that's what they're also called in your garden. So ladybugs, as most of you know, because they're super cute, and I mean, you see kind of ladybugs everywhere in stores and as garden decor and so forth, are actually pretty vicious in the garden. They live, at least all the sources that I read, can live up to 2 to 3 years. And there are thousands of different species of ladybugs in the world, with hundreds in the US alone. Now, ladybugs can be spotted, which is what I tend to see. I've seen orange ladybugs with black spots or red ladybugs with black spots, but they can also be solid in color or even have stripes. Some people get really concerned that predator insects are going to damage their plants, and they do the exact opposite. They eat the insects that damage your plants, and they focus mainly on those soft-bodied insects, which for me are a huge problem. Ladybugs in particular love aphids, and aphids can be a real nuisance. So yeah, I went with the ladybug. They'll also eat scales and mealybugs and leafhoppers, mites, thrips, fruit flies, you name it, just like those other bugs. But I think they're great. So my goal is to start releasing my ladybugs tonight. You want to do it in the evening, but before you do that, you want to do some things around your garden to entice them to stay. The very first thing I would do to prep your garden is to remove all debris or plants that have run their course, because if they are plants that ladybugs are attracted to and they've kind of run their course and you plan on removing them anyway, you don't want ladybugs laying eggs on those and then you removing them, because it kind of defeats the whole purpose. Another thing that you have to do before you release your ladybugs into the garden is make sure there are adequate water sources for them. Otherwise, they may go elsewhere. Here are some fairy gardens that my daughters made. We have 3 big ones, not these 3, this is one, but 3 multi-tiered fairy gardens, and we plan on adding quite a few more and strategically placing them all over the garden. So the whole thought is, of course, it's going to look cute, but this will provide some hiding places as well as water source for the ladybugs. If you get up close and personal, you can see these cute little figurines have little dishes, and water will collect there, and that certainly could help the cause. Here is another fairy garden that my kids made. So this will provide a nice shelter and access to water, and here's another one too. So totally fun to do, and actually will serve a purpose. Another thing you have to do for your ladybugs before releasing them is making sure plants are in the garden that they enjoy. Now, here are some herbs that I've allowed to go to seed, but I did this intentionally because the pollinators love it. But within this bunch of herbs here, we have some chives, which they love, some parsley, and then over here, the butterfly weed, milkweed, I have some flowers, cone flowers. We have hibiscus, they love that. And of course, some additional herbs, mint and dill, and I'm gonna plant cilantro. I mean, there are tons and tons and tons of plants that ladybugs like, so I'll continue to slowly add them to my garden. Marigolds are another plant that ladybugs favor, and I added them throughout the garden as well. Once you've done everything you need to prep your garden for your ladybugs, you can go ahead and start releasing them. Now, keep in mind, with each predator insect, there are specific directions on how to release them, so you want to make sure to follow that. I know for ladybugs, they want you to release them in the evening after the garden has been watered, but there's been so much rain down here, I don't think that'll be an issue. I won't even have to water it. I'll just wait until it rains, and then I will start releasing them. So I am super excited, and I can't wait to see what my ladybugs do and the impact they have on the pests in my garden. Once I got my ladybugs, I went ahead and threw them in the fridge, and the whole thought behind that is it helps to slow down their metabolism. It also kind of preps them because when they get released, they should be super hungry and ready to go to work. Let's get my ladybugs out. Here they are. This is our spare fridge. Let's go ahead and get this out. Ideally, when you store them in a fridge, you want to make sure the fridge is between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And they can actually stay in the fridge for around 3 to 4 weeks. But I've read from quite a few other sources, they can stay in there for months. But it's been 2 weeks since my girls have been put in the fridge, and we just had a really nice rain, and it is the evening. So I think today is the day that we're going to do this. Just give them some time to warm up, and you'll notice more and more and more movement. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to start sprinkling it around my garden in problem areas. And my hope is, because we just had a nice rain, that they will be super thirsty and hungry and all the above, and be ready to work. So I'm going to give these girls a few minutes and come back and check and see how they're doing. It's only been like 4 minutes since I pulled them out of the fridge. And look at how active they've already gotten. So I think I'm not going to have any issues with these natural born killers going out there and getting some aphids. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Hopefully this information was helpful, and for those of you that have experience with ladybugs as predator insects, please let me know the impact they had in your garden. I would love to hear about it. So thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up and happy gardening. Bye-bye.